Welcome to the recording session of Prologue Chapter 1 or 2. I don't know how long this is going to be, so if you see multiple sections, forgive me. This is a prologue to the final chapter. We're going to see some spicy details, so I hope you guys are ready. There it is, chat. Unlocked. Prologue. Final chapter. And as always, make sure you hit that like, comment, subscribe. And the code word, so I know you didn't skip this, is the wall. The wall, Dio. The wall. God, finally, a prologue to final chapter. The time is 2019, December 12th at 1 p.m. in the bleach-defied Earth. In order to conduct a final operation, they've been replenishing replenishments and final repairs in order for everything to completion and preparation for the final assault is about perhaps a couple more days, I suppose. I'm sure that it was quite victorious and elegant to see. The Stella Murray fight was amazing, but the ship has taken significant amount of damage. We, the Carudea staff, aka including Merlin's, Nemo Marines, right? We'll be going through this entire ship, nooks and crannies to do a internal ship checkup, just in case for the final assault. So with that, the commander room is now empty as an abandoned bird nest. おかげで管理は規則通りだよ君. Oh no, it's not an empty bird nest. It's a messed up it's just a messed up pigsty. Essentially, it's everybody's so busy like repairing and cleaning and doing things, it's trash all over the place. It's a little messy. But to be honest, I would like for you all to take your time and, you know, do it with grandeur and leisure. But it says this is quite rare for you, Mr. Gordoff, for you to be so calm. Should I bring you some tea? No. I don't need none of that. Please. Don't pressure yourself any further than you need. If you have your hands empty, go visit the others that are working hard. Showing just to see them would be a positive factor in the after run, and cause after effect to the positivity. As you can see, I'm quite enjoying myself of these leisurely solo times. Now that the advisor and technical advisor is currently vacant, it is a rare occasion to be a solitude of enjoyment. And besides, you see, I must start thinking about what we're going to be doing after all this operation succeeds and we saved Carudea from Carudea has saved Earth from all this shenanigans. I must say, after we ran away from the Southern Hemisphere pole, I thought we've lost everything, but you never know what life is a topsy-turvy, huh? The fact that we were able to turn this around up till now, I believe even the gods wouldn't believe us. We're about to solve this mystery. We're about to solve this incident once and for all. It's almost as if we're promised to have a job in the clock tower. Perhaps if my standings were to be playing a crucial role, maybe the Musique family become one of the 12 Lords' seat. It definitely could be a possibility. It says, congratulations, Lord Musique. And congratulations, new director. Now, you mustn't be so hasty. That's a talk for some other time, you see. Even though it is almost a guarantee. But you can say it just in case, so. なんだっけな。からぬたぬき、虎ぬたぬきのなんとやらだ。So I don't remember the saying. It has something to do with raccoons not being caught of something. Anywho. Well, I suppose it was only you and I in this command room and such vacant. I got a little too excited myself. To be perfectly honest. 正直体の所長になるなんぞものではないな。Because to be perfectly honest, I should have never became a Karudia director in the very first place. The battle was a constant headache and a stomachache. A challenge of both, a different way each time. But Protag. It is all because of you that I was able to stand on my own. And the fact that I am facing the way I am currently facing, it is all up to me. It is my own due diligence and my own being that I am having these effects. But I was not able to stand here. And I was not able to do any of this if it not for your cause. In the southern pole. The Oprichniki supposed to murder me and kill me off. A foolish man. A man that did evil deeds. Yet you still did not abandon me. All of you. Jojiki ni wa misteterare nakatta no darou ga. Ato ni Olgamari no ikken o shitte wakatta yo. Just to be honest, I suppose you couldn't let me go. Due to the fact that after I read what happened to Miss Olgamari in the files. I'm pretty sure you've all did it out of pity. You've all did things out of guilt and didn't want the second pattern to occur. It was not of a work of a saint. I know that for a fact. But that's perfectly fine by me. With guilt and pity to help each other or others. I think that's a wonderful being. I think that's a wonderful characteristics of being a normal human. "周知にある他人の環境を哀れだと惨めだと考える。自分の温度でかわいそうだと考える。It says, able to pity others in a decision, in an environment, and consider your leisure. See how pitiful and spiteful it can be. And I've come to the conclusion that you've all seen how sad I was, and come to the conclusion of that, yet you've helped me out. In these times, these properties or the thought process could be in a negative factor, quite prideful even. But at that time, the things that you've done to occur and accomplish, I think it was a good thing. I think it was a good deed. After all, there is nobody in the world or in the realm that constitutes a perfect human being. すべての行動が他人にとって良いものであり、すべての行動が他人にとって心地よいものでもある。そんな人間はいないのだよ。It says, there is no human being that always and can say with pride that every single movement was for the sake of others. And that was perfectly fine with that. And every single motive was for others, and it makes feel good to make others healthy. Those don't exist, my boy. Sometimes when the logical movement might not be the correct choice, or an ineffective choice, or if maybe you couldn't choose the right one efficiently, shouldn't feel shame or pity about it whatsoever. Humans make mistake. That's a given fact. We innovate and improve and improvise from there. That is something that the 7 Lost Belts have told us and constantly reminded us each footing. So therefore, no matter what happens in this operation, I won't complain or say anything to be resentful nor remorseful. After all, what happens afterwards is going to be a much more problematic, or will be more worrisome in the end. Yes, but what do you mean by afterwards? Well, I suppose I should keep some secrets. Let's just say what I've just explained to you was a dream of mine. That is what I wanted to become. And besides, it will be a little difficult from myself to tell you this before the final operation. It is too much for me to handle at the moment. But I'm going to say it. Even though I really don't want to say it, and this will be very difficult for me to speak out loud. Understand that this must be said before we move forward. I'm going to tell you now that from here on out, I will give a forbidden order to title me as new director. After all this is done, you must call me Director Godolph. Understand? Commander Godolph from here on out. Not as a new director. That will be a taboo for us from here on out. It says, I know I've been saying, we've been naming our, I know you've all been labeling me this from here on out, but I want you all to call me Commander. If you could, please. The reason is quite simple. After that after that young lady comes back, I just don't want any more arguments of who's director and not director. That's all. She will have her title back, and I would just be a commander. This and then the fact that I'll be able to retire and give up from this elite organization that's so bizarre. It's going to be quite the feeling, you see. I guess I will be having my full retirement pay after my hard work. Now go! Now go! Well, I don't know what to say. この張り合いがなくなるのは少しばかり寂しいがね。I am going to be missing the small interactions that we will be having. That's for sure. What's wrong, Protag? Going out to eat some lunch? I got bad news for you, buddy. Seems they're not prepared just yet. I don't think we're going to get any fancy lunches anymore. Even the bakery, even Bakery Chan's packing everything and preparing everything for the last push. You see, I don't think she wants to cause any more burden to the captain. So I think we're gonna I think we're gonna have to eating retro bento boxes from here on out. I think. ガルディアスタッフのうちに誰か一人でも調理技術に欠けたやつがいればよかったんだがな。As I sincerely wish that there was somebody who was able to have some technique in culinary arts or whatever. It'd been nice, but oh well. Hey, can you not stare at me thinking that I can pull such things off? Understand that I can provide myself with my own food. However, I'm not expert or efficient enough to be able to serve 10 plus meals on the current regiment and current standards that we are currently having, okay? In order to prepare some grandiose food with an amazing portion controls and whatnot, you're going to have to be a professional, if not somebody excelled in it, to pull such feat off. To be perfectly honest, I can pull it off, but we're going to have pasta every day if that's the case. I believe that it will be more tasteful if we go for a retro bento box. If not, go for the go for MREs or retro packets or rations. Would taste better after if we were to continue this pasta cooking for a very long time. I see. I suppose that was the case. Remembering 2016 Karadea base? While we were traversing the entire areas through Shadow Border, basic foods was a rarity to come by. Especially when it comes to just consumption. If it's just us, we barely had a single cup of coffee. We had to even ration a very single cup of coffee. Oh, I wanted to ask, who is the one that was making rations for Mash and us, by the way? It was just an automation, you know. It was just a nutritional machine. We kind of got all the nutritions ready and it made a nutrient bar for y'all. That's all. Maybe if we were to put a little bit more money into it, maybe we could have gotten a fine 3D printer that allow us to get some country's cuisine for breakfast or dinner, right? Maybe we could have recreated it. Ah, できたでしょ？特徴注文。割り子になるけど、私、it says, yeah, what are you talking about? That capability already existed in that 3D printer. a special order was available, it just took a lot of consumption, right? It took a lot of rations, but I was making it create Japanese sushis and milk crepes on my off time, you know? Are you serious? Man, Director Marsberry didn't pull any punches when it comes to those things. I was expecting a man who has no bottom line for wealth. But I gotta ask, was it actually really good? Maybe it was just a lump of nutrition and just looked good. Did it taste good? Yes. It was very delicious. Milk crepe was supposed to be made by hand. However, it was made by machine. So the texture was a lot more softer. And to be perfectly honest, the sushi I had was better than the London specialty shop that I've been there before. It was quite quite the delicacy. In the option or how warmth or how strong, I've inserted the warmth of a human hand. Andカルデアの人間関係で嫌になっているときは、あえてマイナスに入力したりしてね。It says, when I was getting sick and tired of human interaction in Carudea, I always had that human warmth meter in the minus, just so I can get it more cold and fresh. Wait, aren't you supposed to make pluses on that? What's wrong with you? Whenever you're depressed, eating something cold will... Well... I suppose you don't have to think anything excessive, so I guess I get you. Is it like putting your heart in like a Zen mode, or just a null, or just stop thinking or whatsoever? Yeah, but that's all in the past, you see. I no longer care for myself backwards in that situation any longer. I suppose within these 2 years, I've gotten tough, or it toughened me up. I suppose I'm a lot more optimistic and forward thinking now. It says, whenever I start to not like myself, I'll adjust myself and I make my own food. And I will eat something very delicious to compensate for it. It seems that a lot of the problem gets solved by that, you see. I suppose food is power. Or maybe somebody affected me some way, somehow, I suppose. Who knows? I suppose it's some little shenanigans of being a mage, right? If you had so much time at hand, I thought you were going to be focusing on your research, but that old man was baking some good bread too, huh? Maybe self-cooking will definitely come in handy when it comes to self-discipline or mental fortitude, I guess. Oh, man, I suppose I should start cooking then, huh? I always wanted to be the gourmet consumer and not the maker. Man. It says, yeah, putting the mental fortitude training aside, I think it's always fun to cook with everyone. 自信満々な笑顔で言いやがって。料理よりそんな友達作る方法が難しいって。It says, yeah, yeah. Must be nice smiling like that with so much self-confidence. 調理よりそんな友達作る方が難しいよ。Yeah, you do realize it's harder to make friends than make just ingredient. Fuck, why is my hand hurt? Ow. Ow. So itchy. But I suppose if you say so, Protag, must be right. I suppose I should take an advice from the person who has been constantly constantly been camping and solo sleeping and being out more than I could ever think of. I'll probably put those outdoor camping stuff as one of my future objectives. I says, oh, if it's just within work shift, I can help you teach some couple of things, you know. I says, yes, one day, someday, whenever you're bored, all that day, right? I don't think you call that friend criteria, you see. That's right. Whenever I feel tired or bored. I suppose when all of us go back to our mundane, boring, daily lives, I suppose. Yes, these are the version upped sequence and battery charging essence whenever it comes to sail diving. I've already told you, I've already told Miss Da Vinci of all this information. はい。以上が今回バージョンアップした空想網における充電補助シークエンス。So apparently there's a version up, so updated zero sailing battery usage sequence charge. Says I already explained it to Miss Da Vinci, but I wanted to explain it to Miss Mash just in case. I don't think you'll ever going to use this, but just in case you see. Understood. Understood. If we ever ran out of fuel, we can utilize servants' weapons and dismember its weapons Saint Graph and able to change it into energy, converting to zero sail on an emergency circumstances, correct? And if that's the case, even I can... Huh? What's this? It says, Miss Shion, the shadow border's existent proof parameter hasn't been... Yeah, is it different from before, perhaps? It says on the counter, it's not a minus anymore, but it's now an additional plus. I feel like this is not like we're getting to dive into zero sail. It's almost as if we're going to deflect a zero sail, almost as if we're bouncing off of it. Is the new technique. It says, wait, really? Whoa, you're right. What the? I guess even a professional can make silly misses like this, huh? It just means that doing an all-nighter is never good for the maiden's health. It says, I'll be readjusting these numbers. It'll be back to normal. Also, even Shion's overworked. Interesting. Yeah, zero sail is usually a minus counter because we're diving, right? We're diving into zero sail. But even Shion's a little stressed and made a professor miss. Yeah, even a professor would miss something like this as expected. Late night all day is not a good thing. I'll be adjusting these numbers, so please be careful. Please don't worry. After you remember the sequence mismatch, go back and take a rest. I want you fully supported and 100% ready for the final battle. It says that's right. Mash should rest properly as well. Speaking of which, Shion, are you resting too? Yes. Because of this, I've been able to take a breather very nicely and able to relax my wings. Even the new director Gordoff said this is a great opportunity. Waste every paid vacation. Waste every vacation now to leisure yourself to your heart's content. As expected of Mr. Gordoff's worrisome comment. An ideal head manager. To be honest, a little too kind in my honest opinion, but that is just my opinion. As long as Miss Mash and Mr. Protag is able to do their operation to their heart's content the way they want, and it succeeds, I don't think there's no reason for Mr. Gordoff to be any strict or be mean to any of you. 飴とムチ、いえ、美しい同情小作関係ですね。It says it's candy and whip. No, I think in this circumstances, a beautiful symbiotic relationship. Please take this please take this amazing balanced work life to your ethics. If you do so, I too will be able to comfortably do my job and get things done. Yes. Thank you so much. But ですがそういうシオンさんやネモさんはおやすみなさい。But it says, yeah, speaking of taking a rest, what about you, Miss Shion? And what about Mr. Nemo? Of course, we've been working a little bit more than our usual daily times, but we're still okay in our parameter of leisure, leisurely doing our effort without giving us drained. Please do understand that I am the next director and candidate of the Atlesian Academy. AKA Atlas, right? AKA, please do understand that I am a candidate for the next leader of Atlas. I am the genius alchemist after all. Wait, what do you mean by former? Yeah, what do you mean by, so yeah, Shion specifically says, I was a former next lead candidate to be in the Atlas control. It says, yeah, what do you mean by former? Why did you quit? Oh, shoot. It seems that I slipped something very important out loud. It says, yeah, I shouldn't be bragging about my past life, you see. Ha 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 ha. By the way, if you want to know about it, Melty Blood Back Alley. 100%. Melty Blood Back Alley. 100%. Melty Blood Back Alley explains why she's the former. And what happens during Atlas. あれで皆さんには関係ない話なので忘れてください。It says, yeah, it's nothing that concerns. It has nothing to concern with the people of Karurea, so please forget about this topic. Anywho, it's break time. Break time, you see. Please go to the cafeteria and enjoy your lunch. My goodness. It seems that my concentration has significantly went down even after this final conflict is on the way. I suppose I did not talk about my past properly to understand what's going on, huh? But then again, it says, when we met first time at the Muldandering Sea, everything important has already been foretold. Please understand that Shion Erutonamu is one of the alchemists that resided in the Atlas Academy in the 3 large magical associations. My father, Zepia, was a former Atlas Institute top. And I was the girl that had the talent that was guaranteed to follow the footsteps after my father. I predicted, right? I future predicted in my Atlas My Room that the Earth bleachification future was arriving after the humanity incineration incident has been solved in 2017 that awaits the further ending of humanity. So it's essentially, Shion said, in my room in Atlas, I've future sighted, right? Future predicted and future foresighted the incident called the bleachification of the Earth after the crime solved for the incineration. So it's essentially, Shion said, I knew this entire season 2 was happening. I saw it in my room. I future predicted it. It says, when I told my father I'm going to be helping Karudea in hand, right as I said that, my father cut all ties from me, and I was no longer the person in charge, no longer to inherit Atlas. 今ではシュガーフリーと言える自由を手に入れた皆さんのカルデアの協力者。So you can even say that I am now a freelancer or free from any faction, a person that gained freedom, a collaborator of Karudea, you all. That's all there's to it, you see. Unfortunately, someone like I has quite the boring, boring story and boring conclusion. So I sincerely apologize for boring. So please don't get it twisted. Yeah, please don't get it twisted like, oh, I was on the Karudea side this whole time, or I knew the objective of former director Marusberi all along. It says, yeah, if I had some sort of funny background betrayal type character, I would have put more front about it. But unfortunately, I'm Karudeus's... Wait. 残念ながら私はカルデアス、マルスベリー元長は、本当紳士が持ってなくて、ペーパームーンを届けたとき、彼とよく話していれば何かが変わったかもと後悔している程度。It says, the former director of Marusberry, I never really had interest in him in the very first place. After I delivered my paper moon, I constantly regret, my only regret is that not being able to talk to him a little more to change something, if possible. If I were to have a genuine good conversation with him. It says you can cut ties with family just like that so easily. How's that possible? はい、簡単に、結束でしたね。そんな親子関係ないと思われているでしょうが、私たちアトラスの錬金術中は、それに超えた優勝で結果、主義者、イェイ。I tell you, I was easily denied and disowned. You might think of something like a wishy-washy family relationship does not family relationship does not exist. You're quite right. It doesn't happen. After all we Atlas alchemists are more of a result oriented educations and motivation than anything else, and come to an idealism. 私の目的においてアトラス院の自公性のことはマイナスでした。In order to fulfill my objective, being the next leader and candidate of Atlas Institute was nothing but minus. I wasn't able to put my entire effort to Karudea if I had my own tasks to deal with in the Atlas Institute. So therefore, I escaped from Atlas Institute to become free once more. My father come to the future prediction that he would no longer see his daughter anymore, that he was able to banish me on the spot. Believing in the future to its maximum effect that the alchemist called Shion Erutonamu would pull off on her own. We only simply prioritize what was the most efficient for both of us. So there's nothing for you two to worry about or feel pity for. It says, in the world or the realm of alchemists, perhaps it's just like Michion has stated. However, even with that being stated, I still don't understand. Wait. So it says, it says, even if that might be the case, I still don't understand. Miss Shion, why did you decide to take the path to help Karude in the first place? Oh, that's quite simple. It's because I can. It's the same reason why you all have resolved the human incineration incident. I predicted the future that the Earth got bleachified. I know that you all will be able to successfully escape from the southern pole. It says, yeah, with a bleachified Earth with no help or nothing to gather, I still knew that you all would fight to the very end. I knew and calculated the fact that there might have been very difficult journeys, multiple of them ahead, but I knew for certain that we would end up Yo, I like how the fact that the alert system for Yay occurred, but it didn't work for the alert. Thank you so much for the follow. No Trap Tisk, Big Priest. Never give up. Sandra, thank you so much for the follow. Walter, thanks for the follow. And Tutu, thanks for the follow. Hernandez, thanks for the T1. And Riker Prime once more. Sure thing. No, yeah, I knew you guys would make it. That's why I ran off from Atlas. After all, there's not many chances that these small opportunities come and go. All I wanted technically was a badge as well. 私もバッジが欲しかったんですよ。私のバリューを上げたかった。I wanted my value to be esteemed a little higher as well. That's all there's to it, you see? After all, a lot of Atlas Institute people type only has a capability of destroying things most of the time, after all. And so to have a resume from the Atlas that specifically says saving the world itself, I'm not going to give this opportunity nor give this credential to any of my colleagues. I see. A very Xi'an thing to do. I think that's very digital. Very forward-facing idea. It says, please do understand that I am still naive. I still have one or two worrisome incidents, you know? Good morning, Nia. Good morning. 例えば以前解読した走行の問題、これを深く突き止めた。It says, for instance, I've just come to some conclusion and theorized what could possibly happen to the quote-unquote the time problem. Whenever I started digging about it. The gap between the bleachification of the Earth and the time gap between the real Earth timeline. カルディアスの攻略の準備は最等限ですか？私としてはこちらへの心構えも同じレベルかと、問題かと。Yeah, because technically, even if we were to flip back the time, our age is not going to flip. Which means that in technicality, as Shuten Doji, not Shuten, Ibuki stated, we can technically, our body is technically old enough to drink, but we don't register it because we don't want to admit it. It says, yeah, to be perfectly honest, getting to prepare to conquer Carudeus is an important task at hand as well. But to be perfectly honest, that what is await us afterwards is on a similar level, in my opinion. 時間の齟齬。それは我々がいる博士間の地球時と実際する地球時が食い違いがあるということでしょうか。So it says, yeah, the time difference slash temporal problem. Are you saying that the bleachification Earth's time date and the Earth that resides time date, there is a mismatch, perhaps? Yes. この博士から地球での1日の長さは曖昧。いえ、非常なものではありませんでした。As I must say, the single long day of bleachification of the Earth was quite abysmal, quite defamed, quite to be perfectly honest, it's not something that is quite normal. After all, we've just witnessed that there was no outer space outside of Earth. This planet has been separated, alone, secluded. It's almost as if we're in a confined playing field. Uh, なので朝と夜、季節の段階、それらは正常な地球の下で行われたものではなく、カルデアスによって維持的にデザインされたものでしょう。So it says, yeah, the day and night cycle and the seasonal cycle. It wasn't done underneath the proper space and time continuum. It's almost as if it was all designed and properly fooled and imitated and corresponded it by Carudeas's will. It was probably designed by it. And simultaneously, to give that more concrete evidence, Torais II has observed and gave me two different answers when it comes to bleachification Earth time and the actual Earth time. It says the bleachification of the Earth, the time that we spent here is roughly around 2 years. However, in the actual Earth timeline, it was a lot more multipliers than that, almost as 5. It says me and Da Vinci had some recollection and come to the similar conclusion of sort. However, 博士家の地球で時間差の式上ではない。しかし、実際に時間は積み重なっている。It says, in the bleachification Earth, timelines and time dilation is abnormal. However, in reality, time is still stacking on top of each other. So therefore, therefore, once the bleachification of the Earth returns back to normal actual Earth, all the combined and weighed down time will instantaneously come back forth. Everybody's thinking to us that if we were to return to Earth once more, I believe every single one of us will be welcome to the Earth 2020 instantaneously instead of the 2018. It's not a time slip, but almost as a time skip. It says it's almost as if in the further future, a future of couple of years that we won't even recognize. A time that it's spent that we even not only recognize would come to fruition. So does that mean that we're gonna be after all this is over, we're gonna be flown into a future Earth, just like Urashira Taro? はい。なのでその時の対策を考えておいた方がいいなと思うのですが。It says, yes, very similar to the trip to the Ryugu Castle, right? So we definitely have to come up with some countermeasures just in case. But, however, well, this is nothing more than a theory on top of a pen and paper, you see. It is the quote-unquote what-if story, the same guy that was in the clock tower that met his end. So please don't worry about me. Is that Lev? No, wait. まあこれはあくまでも机上の空論かの始末時時計と同じもしもの話です。So yeah, at the same time as the grandfather clock syndrome of just what if syndrome. All you need to do is concentrate on Claudius and leave this side to me. After all, Carudea is a group of organization that secures the future of humanity. And I'm merely a supporter that helps the Carudea achieve this goal. It says, I am not going to have an ending. After all the hard work and effort that we pulled off, I'm not going to have an ending that me and Torais Megisu won't acknowledge. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, fuck. Hey! マリンたちも出て、出払っておいて、こんな時に私。It says, hey, what the heck? All the Marines are out out in commission. Am I the only one that can pull this off? What's wrong with you? You understand? Wait, 聞いているから、why does it say not Gordov? Interesting. マリーンたちも出会うよって、こんな時も私しかいないとは。聞いているかね、頼れる戦闘員諸君、戦闘員版の諸君、緊急事態発生だ。It says, my goodness, where's the Marine? Yeah, the Marines. Marine Nemos whenever I need them. At this time, I'm only one still here. You guys are hearing me? Battle warriors. Emergency alert. An emergency alert. An emergency alert. Da Vinci, Shia, Captain, Kira, Light, and Protag. I invite you. Come to the command room immediately. At this rate, our storm border's gonna get shut down. Take a look at this. Hurry. We've arrived. What's going on, Commander? You guys came right on time. As expected of the staff members that have been going through this battle. All at once is quite reliable. Anywho, wait. Where's Da Vinci? Yes. Miss Da Vinci and we were on a 2 different trip and... Has she not arrived yet? It seems the case. It seems that currently Da Vinci is too busy working on the with engine to come up with something fun. It seems Marines are doing the same thing and they can't let go of their hand for anything, I believe. I just got returned to the command room. Commander Gordov, could you give us a situation at hand? I see. I suppose this will take priority. Just 5 minutes ago, in the front of our ship, an irregular St. Graph reading has been observed. Torais Magus II constantly tells me that it has no ill intention towards us, but that's impossible! I am not going to look over this quote-unquote weird phenomenon, not even an instant! Take a look at the monitor here! It's Karadea Man, obviously. Somebody's there. Mash, that's... Yes, I sincerely agree with your statement, Senpai. As you can see, it's an intruder. 100% I tell you. And an intruder St. Graph. I'm so afraid I can't even contact it. It's definitely an assassin from the Karadea side. I just know it. I believe just when we even call out to it, it's going to assault us. No, that's wrong, Commander. That shadow figure, he's... What? Is he a friend of yours or something? Not. Yep, that's Gotea Solomon. So you've all settled. あのホロンクスはいないようだが、まあいい。So you've all assembled. Seems that young homunculus is not with you all, but whatever. You were able to successfully cut off all the lost belts of humanity that was hindering you all, and simultaneously you've corrected your distortions that was causing problems to humanity once and for all. This is この場のみ限定ではあるが、今の地球で活動する唯一の人類として頂点の英雄を持ち選び出した。At this specific location and time only, I brought a proper heroic spirit as representative of one of the humanity itself. Now that is working on Earth. A proper vessel for challenge. ビーストに対抗する7つのクラス。グランド英雄に手を伸ばした傲慢さを今は遠前。It says, I'm not going to ask the greedfulness of you putting your hands on the Grand Heroic Spirit Servant class that could even the 7 Beast に対抗する7つのクラス. It says the 7 class that can fight against the beast. I'm not going to ask your pridefulness to put your hands on those Grand Servant graphs, but that is not the tale now. It seemed that Karudea has earned once more to stand on top of the final stage. The fate to fight against the the irregular planet, right? The foreign planet Carudeus. The fate has been decided. However,それだけでは悪死になった世界は元に戻らない。お前たちだけでは始まりに戻ることさえ不可能だ。それを今証明しよう。かつて過去を愚かな人類を訳した証拠の証。So it says, however, with just that, you won't be able to return the bleached world to once it originally began. With just all of you, it would be impossible for you all to return to the very beginning. And that I will explain and prove to you now. As the person who is able to prove and was able to incinerate humanity, these foolish beings in the past. At the final forefront of the land, at this Temple of Time. Oh, is he just pulling us to Temple of Time? Holy shit. He just did pull us to Temple of Time. What is this? A temple? Are we in space? What's going on? Captain, what's the meaning of this? Is the storm, is the storm, aka our ship, floating property? 浮いているが時空特性は特定できない。すぐにマリーンたちを呼び戻して戦闘態勢に入る。It says we're still floating up in the air, but I can't take the spatial coordinates whatsoever specifically. I'm gonna call back the Marines immediately and keep us into a battle formation. No, that's not necessary whatsoever. Please keep the storm border the way it is currently. This is just a large reality marble and nothing less. It has no capability to hinder us with that strength whatsoever. Isn't that right? Romani Akiman, aka Akima. Yet? No. Perhaps I should call you by your real name at this point. Karudea no Saigo no Doryokusha. The final collaborator of Karudea. Grandcaster Solomon, I should say. What? Dead bird, right? Dead bird, aka the bird that, dead bird, aka, it's funny because it calls it Shitori, right? Shion, dead bird. It is a no longer Dust of Osiris. Do not speak so forward. 私が手を貸すかどうかはお前たち態度の次第だ。Do not speak so do not speak so into the future, dead bird, right? Whether I lend a hand or not depends on your attitude and how you prove it. Come on out, Protag. And as the Guardian, I will permit Paladin to be in the same sittings as you. With all the efforts that you've reached so far, I would acknowledge and have a conversation as equals. だそうです。キャプテン、外の環境は宇宙 Uchifuku irimasu? Says, well, that's what he says. Captain, how's the element or how's the outside atmosphere feeling? Do we need a space suit, perhaps? No. It technically is spatial, but it seems that the air in the atmosphere is similar to Earth's. As long as you're wearing a mystic code, I think you're perfectly fine. Protag, Mash, can you do it? Of course. We're already used to it, you know? Especially in Temple of Time. Oh, are you sure about this? You're really going out? But he claims him to be a man of Karadea, but he never really revealed his true face or form or name. Can we really trust him? And first, Romania Keeman? That's false. He's just looked like one. There's no way he's morphed into one. How can we trust you in the first place? Yeah, how can you trust him in the first place? You know that he's morphing into Romania Keeman, right? Yes, I agree. Because he looks like Romani Akeeman, right? We can trust him. What? Yes, Mr. Mujik. It's quite the opposite, you see. まっとうな敵なら彼の役を被ろうとは思いません. It says if the enemy, if the enemy was quite proper, they won't. If the enemy is quite proper, he will not act as he is right now. Romania Keeman was not a perfect human being whatsoever. He was a normal human that has his longcomings and shortcomings. It says whenever it comes to combat stance, him morphing into a humanoid being has no merits whatsoever. And if that is the case, that means that that person specifically values and respects the person who he was up till now. Meaning, ドクターの人生に存在の方に価値を見出した. So it seems that he saw value in Doctor's life, correct? Because he acknowledged Romani Akeeman, he wants to connect the dots and he wants to connect the dots and give a helping hand just like he did back then. That's right. That's why we have to answer his call. And we're going to be overcoming our final trial here and now. I'm here now. The person of Karadea. After you've witnessed this scene once more, you don't back down. It seems that you are stubborn as ever when it comes to your guts and decision. No. It seems that your stubbornness and your decisions have increased a lot more than ever before. I take back my baseless judgment. Seems you're more determined. I've told you this before. Once you've deleted all 7 Lost Belts, I will acknowledge you all as my enemies. Whenever it comes to enemies, it means a threat. Utilizing his words. At that very moment, however, you were not a threat to Catadeus whatsoever. So I had no time or effort to dealing with you all. My job was to check each individual each individual investigation of the Lost Belt and judge the humanity living in those individual Lost Belts and come to a conclusion. そして緻密に含まれたマルスベリーアムネスフィアの計画を紐解く仕事があったからだ。So simultaneously, yeah, my job. Okay. It's just kind of spilling the beans here. It says, yeah, I had no time to be fooling around. After all, my job was to investigate each and individual lost belt, judge, judge and quote unquote value the humanities that was living in each one of them, and simultaneously do the secret mission that Marusbedi has told me in his plans and make sure that it came to fruition little by little. That was my job. But now that's all done and over with. Nokoru shigoto wa nanmei o omomuki karudeashi o shite saseru koto nomi. It says now my job is to go to the South Pole once more and stop Karudeas. 本来なら私一人で行っても良い仕事だ。だがこれは私という存在をかけた義務。責任。It says, however, in actuality, this is a job that is perfectly fine and to be tasked by me and me alone. However, this responsibility and this job is my existence, you see. The higher the successful rate, the better. The more manpower, the more efficient. Meaning, do you understand what I'm trying to tell you? It says, man, you really had bad ways of saying words. You want me to help you out, right? 一緒に戦ってあげてもいいよ. It says, yeah, we can fight together, you know. You could have just asked. 話を聞いていたか。クソ殿胸がクソ度胸がアホ度今日に進化したのか。逆だろ逆。So were you listening to me? It seems that your stubbornness has turned into idioticness. Has it evolved into your idiocy? It's the other way around. Other way. 私には南極に同行する理由がある。そのためにこの姿、この表情だった。It says, I have a job. Yeah, I have a job for me to go to the South Pole with you all. That is why I look like this, and that is why that is why I was stranded here. There's a reason why there's still one room left in the Grand Heroic Servant seat. But to be perfectly honest with you, no. I do not want to lend a hand to you all in the first place. But だが事実として私は聖者ではなく霊気によって存在するもの。It says, however, in truth, I am not alive, and I am not the one that is currently living to accomplish this task, and I am the one that is binded by such saintcraft. And so, therefore, I will promise you as a servant. After all, when it comes to magical output, it's more increasing and beneficial if I were to promise so. But understand that my saint, it says, however, understand that I am quite different from the other heroic beings. As obvious, if not, someone of a higher caliber or somebody that is equal must acquaint and prove to me their strength in order for the contract to be binded. And so, in order to bind a contract with me, a mage must be worthy of such factor. 私が納得する範囲で私がもういいと呆れる程度には私に打ち勝つ実力をしてもらおう。This is until I am satisfied or bored with this charade, I need you to be stronger or have a capability to defeat me, a winning chance, I suppose. 何？カルデア式の契約ではない。古くからの王道と教わる契約法だ。But understand that this will not be a Karudea style contract. Yeah, please. Yeah, but understand it's not gonna be a Karudea style contract. It will be an old, ancient, classic promise, binding contract. As always, a summoner would always summon the strongest familiar and make it prove its worth, and the familiar will be loyal to the very end. If you are agreeing with this style of contract, then let us begin. If that is, 貴様にそれだけの危害があればの話だから。It says, if that is appropriate and you are agreeing with this such standard, that is. Of course. Are you sure? You want to do it at this gate? In front of this gate? Are you sure? It seems you can bark all right. Are you trying to say that I've got yeah. So by the way, this is Flawless. I believe that's the gate of Flawless. AKA Lev slash King of Man slash the final fight before all this shit. So yeah, you know, Fate Gote is like, man, you fucking you know, you're talking shit. He's like, you bitch. 負け癖がついてるとも言いたいのかね。It's saying that are you saying that I have something I have a grudge against you or something? Don't worry. Understand that this battle is nothing more than a warm-up for our final charade. We're gonna do something else when it comes to battling the battle for the promised contract. But let us begin. I'm getting sick and tired of this look anyway. But before we start, may I ask you a question? I know this already. I know this for certain, but I must have a confirmation. Please do tell me. You're not really our doctor, right? That's right. I'm sorry, Mash. No. I understood. Thank you for answering. But please let me say my thank you. That you, who was willing to choose to look like Romani Akaman one final time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to save so many people of the Lost Belt as much as you can while looking like a doctor. Nothing more than what I've left behind. I was just pushed the aftermath of a job that was supposed to be done by him. Anywho. However, this battle is different. This is just my own volition and my own will. And it is my own choice that I want to do this fight with you all. 口だけの夢使い、神に等しいと言える千人のもどき、暴言の女王、救世主の。So, these are talking about all the lost belts, right? So, 口だけの夢の使い, I believe that's LB6. 神に等しいと語る千人のもどき. So these are LB3, LB4, LB3, LB4, LB5, and then this one, it says the queen, the queen of ice, the ice field, which is technically LB1 and LB2, because technically Anastasia became King Lost Belt later on. And then aka the Savior, the rotten end of a Savior, which is LB7. So yeah, he just kind of explained all the LBs, right? Because LB4 is the Sending, right? That was Pepe. それなりに腕の立つ魔術師の数があるほど、そのどれもがそこから間違えている。It says here, no matter how many mages they may be that is very powerful and strong, each individual are wrong at the root. I will show you what the most powerful mage is. I will show you and witness me now. Oh shit. Merlin, Taigong, Wang, Skadi, Tonerico. Yeah, that too. Yes. Oh shit, here we go. He's changing into Solomon Fake. You're talking about the mages, not the Lost Belts? Well, you can say one or the other. But he is talking about mages. So it says, my name is Solomon, the one who stands on top of all mages. Prepare yourself, Karadea. Prepare yourself, Protag. I'll fucking beat your ass with a spatula, practically. Very nice. And the fact that he has a shark teeth fucking tells you that he's fake. Hey, Solomon battle's going to be soon. Prepare yourself, chat. Oh, fuck. So that means we gotta get our fucking caster ready, Dio. Who you guys gonna make your caster? Fuck. How we gonna cook this, chat? How we gonna cook this? Notice the arms, same as Gotea when possessing Romani's body. Well, yeah. He's going to look like London Solomon, right? Because remember, the first Solomon witness that we had was technically Solomon that was Gotea looking like Solomon. And from the look of it, he only had one ring there. Which is funny because one person did pick up the ring at the very end of the fucking Temple of Time, the movie. Class score levels? Oh fuck, dude, I didn't even start my caster class score, bruh. Cersei, this shit's easy. Oh, true. Wait, can I bind that? Wish I could bind that. I guess not. Interesting. I can't link it. I wish I could link that. Oh well. What is that? Wait, how did you do that? Oh, I like live translated it. That's why. So essentially, TLDR, Solomon's getting in our way. Just to kind of prove... Solomon wants us to prove to him that we're better than him. And if we can prove that we're better than him, Solomon's going to join us, which he's going to be a 5-star welfare for season 2, right? 5-star welfare going to be season 2 to beat the ass of the spatula of the final battle, right? Because his job is to stop Carudeus. But we were able to arrive in LB7. We were able to sort out everything, and we are now able to walk on Carudeus. And so Romani, right, slash Gotea slash Solomon, aka fake Solomon, right? Because it says fake scripture Solomon. He's going to test us, and we have to beat his ass inch of his life and make him understand that we're better than him. And once we prove that we are better than him, he will be our permanent familiar, which is why we are getting the welfare treatment instead of the gacha. Grand Miss Crane? Dude, Grand Miss Crane will go hard. Lost Room was the 1-ring pickup. Oh, okay. Grand Tsundere Solomon. That's right. Hard to say until I see his gimmicks, bro. Don't be a pussy. Just pick your caster now, Dio. So what are we gonna do, bro? I might low-key just go balls deep with Kuchan here. Like, my goal will probably be... What is an MP, though? Oh, excuse me. Buster up 3 turns. Defense. Okay, so it's a defense down, and... Overcharge is not the gimmick I'm looking for here. So Buster damage, MP damage, and then I'll probably use, like, who the fuck would I have? Like Shakespeare, I guess. Well, I'm not gonna be using Shakespeare, obviously, but what is a good Buster support besides Merlin? I'm about busting out that Geronime. Yo, Geronime is gonna be pretty lit. Castanero's got a pretty good 50% attack. That is true. That is true. Oh, damn. Lack already prepped the fucking Solomon battle is crazy, Dio. So, let's see, chat. Solomon King Grand Chez is gonna be cooking. So, here's the thing. It's fake Solomon, so I don't know if he's gonna have king trait. You gotta understand that fake Solomon means he might not have a king trait. So you need it. Well, it doesn't matter. You definitely want to have anti-king, anti-law, anti-chaotic. One of them. right? The reason why I say that is because if you have one of those, you can do big dig damage. Bigger deeper damage. Summer Wu can turn the dead guy into a more dead guy. I mean, he's not saying he's dead, right? It would be unironic that like Summer Wu is like the best way to go. That would be crazy. Yeah, I think this is the comp I would go, and what I would do is bust down that, bust down this. I don't know. Is Tamamo's Bond CE worth? Does Tamamo Bond CE allow me to get more MP damage? Or Bond CE, chat. Arts performance by 15%. Okay, so that's not good for her. So I'll just add that there. And I think that's it. I think I go... I low-key think go double Tamamo or double Merlin Tamamo. What about Waver as Bond CE? I'd rather have the Buster damage than Waver. Because Ku's overcharge is not that good. Right? Ku's overcharge is a defense down and burn stack. I think I'll do like that. Or who would I fucking pick? Anti... Oh, So these are my single targets. If I'm going single, right? So you should definitely think of both single and AoE, just in case he is AoE. Right? Because remember, he kept talking about familiars and shit. He might use familiars, so therefore there could be a an AoE gimmick to this. By the way, Shikibu gives chaotic and good power mod. Ooh, nice. That's actually good. Chibi Demons would be funny. Yeah. Watch him summon riders. That would be fucking insane. If he summons riders, he's cheating. It has to be just caster. God, if Medea had more power mod, holy shit. That would be insane. If it's AoE, I think a lot of people would pick Tonerico for sure. Watch, he summoned a random servant in the class, same slot on your team is weak against. That'd be crazy. Even if it's single target, people will probably stick Tonerico. You think so? I mean, like, the hardcore dedicated ones, sure, but... It's gonna be a decision. Look. Yeah, it'll probably be... I don't know. The modifiers, chat. So, if I'm going for power mod, Santa Martha might not be bad to have. Just because she is anti-divine, demonic, and dead. But the problem is, I don't know if he will be divine or demonic. It really would just depends on tomorrow's stats for sure, isn't it? Because the whole shebang's gonna rely on what trait will he have to take an advantage. He should have one of the advantage traits to make Martha useful, I hope.